college football playoff bracket is set. I've got my thoughts on it. What's up? Jonathan Smith, the host here at Shooting the Schmidt. Yesterday at, a little after noon, the college football playoff bracket officially came out. And the way it shook out was, or is, incredibly frustrating. It doesn't make any sense. I hate the way that this works. Arizona State's the 12th ranked team in the country, but they get a first round bye as the 4 seed. Boise State finished as the 9th ranked team in the country, and they get a first round bye as the 3 seed, which doesn't make any sense, and it creates a lopsided bracket. Okay, there's a really simple fix to this. Let's just have the top 4 ranked teams get the 4 byes, because that would just make everything make sense, especially the paths to the title game. Penn State, who is, the 6th seed, they're going to play the 10th ranked team in the country in SMU in the first round, and then they're going to play the 9th ranked team in the country in the second round when they play against Boise State. And then probably Georgia, who's going to be really good. Compare that path to the number 1 overall seed, Oregon. Oregon, who obviously gets a first round bye, then either has to play 6th ranked Ohio State or 7th ranked Tennessee, significantly harder than playing 9th ranked Boise State. Then they're going to probably have to play 3rd ranked Texas. That is a tougher path. Like, I would rather be I would rather be Penn State so I could play SMU and Boise State. That is who everyone wants to be, and it just shouldn't be that way. Like, the number 6 seed should not have the most desirable path to the college football playoff finale. It shouldn't be that way. Everyone should want to be Oregon, and I wouldn't want to be Oregon. No way. No, absolutely not. That's probably... Actually, now, the last team I probably want to be is Arizona State, because you got to play Texas and then probably Oregon. But either way, I think you're going to catch my drift on the whole, like, Oregon should have the easiest path, not Penn State, not the 6th seed. If you're the number 1 overall seed, you should have the easiest path. And Oregon has one of the harder ones. Okay, and that needs to be fixed next year. Okay, so there's 2 ways to do that. Option 1, you can just reseed everybody after the first round to ensure that, Oregon has the easiest path. Option number 2 is you can just give the bye weeks to the 4 best teams, to the teams that are ranked 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, this year, I don't think anybody would be upset if, Oregon, Georgia, who are the other 2, Penn State and Texas, if they all had byes. I don't think people would be upset by that in the slightest, because I don't know if Penn State's the 4th best team in the country, but I think that is a much easier pill to swallow than seeing Boise State and Arizona State, the 9th and 12th ranked teams in the country, with bye weeks. Next thing here that I have to talk about, the thing that I think I know that a lot of people were talking about yesterday, and I'm assuming it will continue today. SMU should not have gotten in over Alabama. I get why they did it. Okay, there's not a good choice here. Like, SMU is a terrible choice to put in the playoff. Alabama isn't a very good choice either. Okay, and look, I get it. Losing to Vanderbilt and Oklahoma should matter, and it does matter. That's why they would have been the 12th seed. Okay, not the 5 seed or whatever. But beating Georgia, South Carolina, Missouri, and LSU, which would all be SMU's best win, by the way, that should also matter. The fact that SMU hasn't beaten a ranked team all year this year should matter. SMU went 11-2. They lost to 16th ranked Clemson by 3, and they lost to 17th ranked BYU by 3. That tells me that they're probably like the 18th best team in the country, not the 10th best team in the country, like where they were ranked. Okay, and here's the thing, though. When I say this, I was talking to my dad last night, and he called me, and we were having this debate. He was like, well, they had to put SMU in. That way they didn't communicate that conference championship games didn't matter. Look, it's just not true. The idea that the ACC would have gotten rid of their conference championship game if SMU had been kept out, I just think is ludicrous for 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is, let's say that the ACC didn't have a conference championship game this year. They would have only had the opportunity to get 1 team in. It would have been SMU. Okay, because they would have won the conference and they'd have been one of the higher ranked conference champions. They would have gotten a bye. It would have been really cool. But since they had the conference title game, they had the opportunity to get two teams in. And that opportunity doesn't change whether SMU gets in or not. Like, you can still step back and be like, you know what? They still had a chance to put two teams in, so we should probably have one. The other reason why the ACC would not get rid of their conference title game is because that's an extra game that you can sell. And this whole thing's about money anyway. So they're not getting rid of that. There's no way. No way that they would have gotten rid of it. And here's the thing for me. Here's why I would have gone with Alabama over SMU. You have to ask the question, or I think you should have to ask the question when you're evaluating who to put in, right? The top 12 teams. Okay? You should be required to ask, can this team win the whole thing? And when you ask that about SMU, the answer is clearly no, right? Maybe if you're nice, like, yeah, you'll be like, I don't know. They lost by 3 to SMU and Clemson. Oh, you mean two teams that finished ranked outside the top 12? The only reason why Clemson got in is because SMU couldn't beat them. And then you look at Alabama and you ask that same question. Is this team capable of winning the whole thing? And the answer is yes, because they beat Georgia and they beat South Carolina and they beat Missouri, right? That's 3 top 25 teams. That is tied for the most in the country. They have more top 25 wins than anyone else, not named Oregon and Georgia. Okay? Like, strength of schedule and good wins should outweigh winning the weakest Power 4 conference and losing your only 2 games against ranked teams. Okay? Like, look, there's no good option here, which is why having a 12-team playoff in the first case is dumb. But I just think that the committee should have opted for the team that had proven on multiple occasions that they can beat anyone. But instead, they opted for a team that can beat teams that are 8-4. Like, that's all. That is all that SMU has proven. They can beat teams that are 8-4. Fantastic. Okay, and also, like, Alabama's just better than SMU. Like, this is my biggest pet peeve with the college football rankings. They're not rankings. They're standings. Okay, like, this isn't the NFL. In the NFL, every win is worth the same. Okay, like, if you beat the Jets or if you beat the Chiefs, that win worth the exact same amount in terms of making the playoffs. That is not how college football works. You can't just line teams up and say, oh, well, they have more wins, so they must be better. Because that's just simply not true. Okay? College football, the wins are weighted. Beating Oregon or beating Texas is worth a lot more than beating Duke. Okay, for Alabama and SMU, like for Alabama beating LSU and Missouri and Georgia and South Carolina, all those wins mean more than beating Duke or Louisville. They just do. And if you don't understand that, then I don't really think that I can help you. But this is the way college football works, or that's the way it should work. And once again, these are rankings, not standings. We're ranking the best teams, not just putting in the teams that haven't lost as much. And so I don't like it, but this is what the committee did. First game is December 20th. Can't wait. I will be tuned into every single game, even though I don't like the outcome of all of them. I hope SMU beats Penn State for what it's worth. That way I don't sound like too much of a hater, but we'll see what happens going forward. I'll be back in with 2 videos tomorrow, starting a new series for the NBA stuff. I'm going to call it Top Player Tuesday. I'm going to take different top players in the NBA and highlight them and just talk about the seasons that they're having. And then I'm going to do some NFL stuff tomorrow as well. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of that good stuff that's coming out tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching the video. I'll be back again tomorrow.